Blessings, everybody. This is Dale. Thank you so much for joining with me today. We are in the book of Proverbs in chapter 6. You'll have to sort of forgive me. I just got in from a 12-hour drive. Yeah, that's always fun, isn't it? But anyway, it was good. It was good. So we've looked at the first, what was it? The first 5 verses, I think, of this chapter. Yes, it is. So let me just go through those again real quick and recap it because, we need to know the context. And Solomon is saying, my son, if you put up security for your neighbor, have given your place to a stranger, if you are ensnared to the words of your mouth and called in the words of your mouth, then do this, my son, and save yourself. When you've come into the hand of your neighbor, go hasten and plead urgently with your neighbor. Give your eyes no sleep and your eyelids no slumber. Save yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, like a bird from the hand of the fowler. So he's saying, hey, if you've got yourself in a situation, if you've made a pledge, or you put up security for your neighbor, or you've made a pledge to a stranger, if you've ensnared yourself with the words, you got caught up with the words of your mouth, then do this, save yourself. Work at it, get out from under it, go to your neighbor, try to work it out a deal, plead urgently with him. And he says, give your eyes no sleep. In other words, don't let this just sit there and go, well, I'll get to that someday. I really need to do this. No, get with it, okay? And literally from the point of view as a wild animal does at the hand of man, how when a hunter's out after a gazelle, well, you make a wrong move, and that gazelle is going to sense you and be gone. Same way with a bird. And then he continues in speaking to his sons here, verse 6. Go to the ant, O sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. So he's saying, hey, take the ant, look at the ant and take it under consideration and watch what it does. Now, when he says go to the ant, sluggard means lazy, consider your ways and be wise. Was he calling his son lazy? Was he calling his sons lazy? Was he calling them sluggard? Or was he just giving an example? Because everything we've seen at this point in time is him forewarning them about things and saying, don't do this, don't do this. If you get in this situation, do this. So again, go to the ant, look to the ant. O sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. Verse 7. Without having any chief, officer, or ruler, she prepares her bread in summer and gathers her food in harvest. So Solomon is saying, just look at the ant. You don't see anybody here who's the chief, officer, ruler, hierarchy, and all this kind of stuff. But look what she does. She prepares her food. She prepares her bread, or as King James says, her meat in the summer, and she gathers her food in the harvest. She prepares. She knows how to do this. God made an ant to where the ant knew what to do. And verse 9, how long will you lie there, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep? So we're talking about sluggards now, okay? And he's addressing, hey, how long are you just going to lie there? How long are you going to lay around and say, well, I can't get up yet, and not get out of your sleep? Verse 10, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want like an armed man. So he's forewarning his kids here. And he's saying, hey, guys, look at it. How long are you going to lay there, O sluggard? And, of course, we all could give multitudes of examples from our own lives, probably, of that from the lives of our children and grandchildren. Remember the teenage years, oh, sluggard, A lot of times it wasn't so much that they were sluggards or anything. Maybe they were misappropriating the time they had, in other words, staying up too late. Or in a lot of situations, they're just growing so fast. And, whereas now a lot of us, we do find 5-6 hours of sleep, something like that. No, at that time, man, you need like 9 or 10. And their bodies are telling them that because they're growing so quick. So that's not exactly what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here are sluggards. And I tell you, I have known several in my life. I really have. And it's sad. I mean, it's really sad when you see this. A little slumber, a little sleep, a little folding in the hands to rest. So I just need to sit back and rest a little while. What's going to happen is that poverty will overtake you. And it totally winds up destroying and perverting your life, uh, because it's always somebody else to blame. It's always some other situation to blame. It's this, it's that. And they're just a sluggard. I mean, they really are. And the poverty will come upon you literally like a robber, and won't, meaning that you have need, like an armed man. Verse 12, he continues, a worthless person, a wicked man, goes about with crooked speech, winks with his eyes, signals with his feet, points with his finger, with perverted heart devises evil, continually sowing discord. Therefore, calamity will come upon him. In a moment, he will be broken. So he's warning them about being a sluggard. He said, don't be a sluggard. And then he talks about this worthless person, a wicked man. The King James says, a naughty person, a worthless man, and he's a wicked, evil man. And what does this wicked, evil man do? He goes about with crooked speech, deceitful speech, perverse speech. King James says, a froward mouth. And what kind of crooked speech? Well, look what he does. He winks with his eyes. He signals with his feet. He points with his finger. With perverted heart, he devises evil, continually sowing discord. And because of this, calamity will come upon him suddenly. In a moment, he will be broken beyond healing. And you go, well, people don't do that kind of stuff today. Yes, they do. And I tell you what, the good news is some of this calamity is coming up on them right now. We are basically governed like this, folks. And I don't care if it's at the local level, state level, national level, but particularly at the national level and the state level, with crooked, deceitful speech, with the wink of the eye, with signals from feet and pointing of the finger. There's all sorts of groups and organizations and societies that have secret handshakes, that have signals, that have the way of holding a hand, the way of nodding the head, the way of looking. And if you're in a courtroom and you do this for a judge, then the judge will know, wait a minute, he's part of my body. This is very, 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 very common. As a matter of fact, I think I can actually describe it as standard operating procedures. Okay? This exact type of thing. And the word here warns us not to be a wicked man like this, not to be a worthless person. Don't be a sluggard. Don't be a worthless person, because what's going to happen? Calamity will come suddenly upon you. Okay? Calamity will come suddenly. Oh, the next 2 or 3 verses are some of my favorite verses. Oh, these are great. But my time's up. Okay? We'll pick it up next episode. Again, I'm Dale. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you next episode. Goodbye.